everybody. Welcome to Mental Health Matters. This is Tom Duff, Executive Director and Therapist to the Stars. Therapist to the stars of the St. Louis region, all right? But this is Mental Health Matters, the podcast that breaks down stigma, makes mental health okay to talk about around the dinner table, all right? So remember, that's our goal. And part of that is finding out more about St. Louis Counseling. So go to our website, stlouiscounseling.org. That's Saint spelled out. And as always, to talk about mental health, to talk about how to make it okay to be part of our general conversation, we bring on guests. And we bring on guests that will help us understand that everybody has mental health, just as we all have physical health. And there's ways to improve our mental health. There's ways to maintain our mental health. And today is no exception with one of our entertaining guests, and that is Lisa Hale with Z Total Body Fitness, located in Fenton, my hometown. Well, it's not my hometown. It's where I live. Fenton, Missouri. Welcome, Lisa. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am doing good. I'm doing good. So I'm excited because as a clinician, one of the main things I always talk about with people when they're exploring mental health or coming into counseling, I'm talking about sleep, nutrition, and exercise right off the bat. Those are things we can just automatically do to improve our mental health. So I'm excited to have you on today so we can talk about that exercise component and everything that goes with that. So first, like what made you want to get into being a trainer, right? And to just working with people and improving their not only bodies but their cardiovascular abilities, their mind and everything of that nature. What got you going with that?
Well, 38 years ago, actually, I was just ending my swimming career through, high school and college, and I just didn't know what I wanted to do exercise-wise. And actually, it was my mom who hated exercise. She saw an ad in the paper that said, you can try out and become an exercise trainer back in the day when Elaine Powers was just a female-based
Uh-huh.
company. And so I thought, why not? I like to dance and sell fitness programs. And so, yeah, I went in there and I started just becoming a fitness trainer at that time. And I loved it. I loved working with people. I loved inspiring people, motivating people, just watching them go from really, coming from, and that's what I think, the whole thing of what we're going to talk about is especially people being pulled in a million different directions. Then they can come and just get out of their, I want to say get out of their head actually, and
Mm-hmm.
just put their body first, and
Mm-hmm.
not have to deal with everything at home and everything at work. And so I just got to love it. And so year after year, I kept doing it. And then the last 8 years, I opened up my own gym, and it's a fitness boutique studio in Fenton, Missouri. And yeah, I mean, I still get to do it, every day. I mean, every day of the week for 38 years, I've been able to touch somebody's life with mind, body, soul, and again, like you said, I deal with nutrition, sleep. It's all part of the puzzle. You just
Mm-hmm.
can't do one. Once you put them all together, then, they mesh better together.
So let's talk about our mutual friend Beth Kreider, right? She has sung your praises, right? She loves going to your gym. So let's talk when you call it a fitness boutique, right? Let's talk about some of the different things you're doing there.
Okay, so probably what we do at Z Total Body is everything the big gyms don't and maybe can't because we like to keep it smaller. So I love the uniqueness. I love the small. I love the community that we've built. I love that the gals we know like their kids' names, what car they drive, who's pulling up. So we really know a bit more of them just being a number or a badge number. They just swipe and come in. We actually everybody knows usually everybody by name. The instructors know everybody by name, and we really care for those people. I mean, I as an owner, when I don't see somebody coming in, I'm texting them, I'm Facebook messaging them, hey, where you been? Like, that was so nice of you. I mean, they're part of my life, just like I want to be a part of theirs. And so, when they don't show up, I'm concerned about them.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you're in a big conglomerate gym, which I've been with many over the years, you're just a number, and front desk maybe is not going to
Mm-hmm.
know you. To
Mm-hmm.
maybe give you a little personal message. So it's the personal touch. It's the one-to-one that we get to know each other better, and then really and get to use the kids. I mean, speaking of Beth Kreider, I mean, the twins, her daughters, it got me to do a family fitness. So once a month, I do a family fitness because I want the kids to know that their parent wants to exercise and not put the stigma in them. Because if you have a parent that doesn't like to exercise
Mm-hmm.
and they say, all right, mom's going to the gym tonight, and and they can hear that. Doesn't sound like it's so much fun that she's going to the gym. So then as they get older, they're like, well, mom never liked going, so it's okay. So to me, that's a stigma that you put down to your children,
Yeah.
and it's it can really be in their mindset that mom, oh, she hated the treadmill. No, I hate the treadmill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, why would I go
Yeah,
do
why would I go
anything?
do
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. Well, and today, right? Always makes me sound old, but in today's day and age, right? But like we hear a lot of complaints, and you see stuff in social media about like kids aren't out doing stuff. Kids aren't. They're all playing video games. They're all on social media and their phones. So actually having a program to like engage
Yeah.
them can go a long way.
Yeah. Well, and at the fitness studio, I have this little kids corner, and there's no electronics. That's one rule: is no electronics. And so they have Legos, they have chalkboards, they have lots of books with little chairs that they can read in. And some parents looked at me like they can't bring the electronics. I said no. I said for
Uh-huh.
30 minutes or an hour, the kids are gonna have to do what we did because I'm probably older than you
Uh-huh.
are.
Uh-huh.
I said because they're going to have to learn to socialize with each other and play. And what's been fun is we look in the window because we can see. And the other day, like two girls were playing with each other's hair and braiding, and it was just basic. Get down to the basics. And I think that's where
Hmm.
we've all. And I think probably that's where mental well-being is. We don't do the basics anymore, and we've gotten away from that, and then everybody's pulled in a million different directions, and they don't know how to cope with it, and
Hmm.
everybody feels like they have to be superheroes or super moms or super dads, and really I feel like all you need to do is just know going to bed that I did my best today.
Hmm.
I mean,
Hmm.
nobody's gonna be perfect. We shouldn't be living in a perfect world. If not, how much fun would that be, right?
Yeah. So when people come into the gym, right, or when they're getting ready to sign up with you,
Mm-hmm.
like what would you say the common themes that people are looking for? Why are they coming in?
Oh, 30 pounds in 30 days, everything that's unrealistic sometimes.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people just need, somebody to, especially group fitness classes. Not everybody is motivated to be in the basement and be on a treadmill for an hour. They got things to do. Moms will say to you, I started doing a program in the basement, and then I was like, I felt guilty. I got things to do. I got laundry. Why am I doing this in the basement? So here they have to come, they get in the car and they have to be with other people. And then they get to socialize and they get to think, wow, I just did 90 minutes of a class. I would have never done 90 minutes at home. So I
Hmm.
think they feel like they have to be accountable, and that's the whole thing. Exercise, if you don't have a buddy, that's one thing. It's always good to have a buddy and bring for accountability. I'm going to text, hey, I'll set you up. Are you coming? So I mean, I feel like you always have to have a friend that you
Hmm.
can count on, and one I think is always stronger than the other one. One
Hmm.
wants to make the excuse, the other one's, well, I'm going without you. And so but usually people are just looking for, I mean, obviously exercise is for the body, but it's so much more than just the outside appearance. It's so much more now for the mental well-being, but it's also for just your heart, your cholesterol, your cardiovascular. We don't have enough time for me to list everything that really people are looking for.
Hmm.
Some people are just hey, I'm a runner. I just have no upper body strength, so I need to do that. Some people say I've just been working out my whole life. I'm just looking for something different to supplement like a gym. So they like what we do, which is a lot of female based, lighter weights, mega reps, resistant bands, TRX. We even brought step class back from the 80s, to do something just
Same hairstyles too?
neon colors.
All right.
So, but yeah, I mean, just something fun because, if I'm telling people to come away from their family and their kids and work out, with me or at my facility for 90 minutes, if I don't make it fun for them, to
Hmm.
feel like that they're going to get, a lot out of it, or feel like, wow, now that
Hmm.
was fun. That was worth me leaving the house. I want to make sure. So everybody it always comes in feeling like, wow, now that was fun. I didn't even feel like 90 minutes went by. That was so much fun. So that's the whole piece of, kind of making the experience. I want people just not to come in, walk in, and leave. I want them to experience. And so I like with new members, if they come in, I like to make sure, how was your experience?
Hmm.
What, and they're like, oh my gosh, your members are so nice, and the place was clean, and I just love the energy and the vibe, and that's what I'm going for, because I just ask them, what do they want, and I can't give them what they want, you know,
Hmm.
if you don't ask. But if I can't supply them with the tools, so
Yeah.
I mean, I like to say that we have a lot of long term clients.
And then, So we're at that point in the year, right? So like a lot of people
Tell me
start
about March.
something in January, right? And then we're going to do it. And then all of a sudden you hit March, February, March, maybe the second week of January. I don't know. You
Yeah,
never know.
yeah.
But when you hit that level and that your mind is like, oh, I got to go work out. How do you help people through one, helping them understand maybe it's more like a lifestyle than like something you have to do, like you were saying, like, oh, I got to go to the gym. But it's like, how do you help people through that? Is it a lot of accountability and engagement?
It is, and they have to find something they like. But here's, and this is just a raw tip, but I always tell them, why don't you strip down naked and
Hmm.
stand in front of the mirror and eat a donut, and then you tell me you won't be in class tomorrow. So sometimes you just have to get a little edgy.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So I've done that before, and other
Hmm.
things that I probably can't say on this podcast.
Yeah.
But so
I don't know
what?
why you had to choose donut, but that's fine. Yeah.
Are you guilty? You had one today?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I see the glaze
Yeah.
still
Oh
in the
my
corner of
gosh.
your
And
mouth.
it's a video too. Yeah.
But I just feel like if you make it exciting enough for them and you keep it switched up, we are constantly there's no class. I teach 7 days a week, all year long, and there's never the same class I've ever taught the same. And
Hmm.
that's the ticket where people are like, I wonder what's going to be taught tonight. And all my instructors do the same thing. We're freestyle instructors, and
Hmm.
a lot of people aren't. A lot of them are choreographed to do a certain program for a certain period of time. So then a lot of people talk themselves out of it because they're like, oh, I know what we're going to do tonight. It's the same thing in that class from that instructor. Where everybody always asks me right at the beginning of the class, what are we going to do tonight? And I
Uh-huh.
go, do I have to know right now? And they're like, well, you're getting ready to teach it. But I just go with the energy, with the flow, with the music, and we
Uh-huh.
put it together, and masterfully it works. I mean,
Uh-huh.
really, I mean, I always say maybe if I would be one of those planning kind of instructors. I know the teachers in my class are always like, I can't believe you do this, but because they're planners, they have to have their
Yeah.
planners, their curriculum.
Yeah.
Where I'm just like a freestyle, like we're gonna do this day, or really kind of what I also love to do is just ask the members, what do you want to do today, and
Hmm.
ask them. And when you engage them and ask them, they're like, wow, does she really care? Well, of course I care.
Hmm.
It's not about me. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm here to instruct, but what do we want to do? And everybody's like, well, let's work on abs, or let's work on hips, or hamstrings, or quad, whatever. And so I'm like, all right, that's what we're going to do today. And so yeah, I love to ask them, what do they want to do? And at a lot of places, you can't do that.
Hmm.
Hey, can we do this? No,
No,
that's
that's
not
not.
on my routine today.
What are you doing there?
Yeah.
That's off. Yeah.
So I love getting off the beaten path of exercise, and I think that's kind of why the style works so well, and that's why people I feel like you will have January, Februarys. I really think people just put a lot of other stuff in front of them. I know they're getting drawn a million ways, and kids and work, and they have to get home because then the husband's coming home, and then they got the kids and they're switching off, and
Hmm.
husband was stuck in traffic, and then they can't come, and so I get a lot of that. But the people who show up are, I mean, I've had so many women say, when I was going all the time, my husband actually said, you are such a better, they knew they were a better person. They knew they were a better wife, a better spouse, a better mom, and a better friend, a better coworker. And then when they stopped for a period of time,
Uh-huh.
the husband was actually like, in the beginning, the husband's like, God, you got to go to the gym all the time. And
Yeah.
then when she stopped going, he's like, hey, I think you need to go again
Yeah.
because you're not
Say,
so nice
yeah,
anymore.
say that delicately,
Yeah.
but yes.
So,
Yeah.
so yeah, I mean, women have said that. Like, my
Uh-huh.
husband wants me to come here because he knows I'm a better person. And I think that's amazing. I
That's
think that's great.
perfect,
When
right?
it's being, and they know that they can be better to their kids. That
Uh-huh.
they've released their stress, and that's one of the things, reducing anxiety and stress by working out. So then when they get home, they get maybe hit with the kids,
Hmm.
and then what's for dinner and what's for this, and I can't find my socks and this, and at least they've got some release. So
Hmm.
they're not like coming straight from work straight into the house, and
Yeah.
then a lot of things are getting a little scary.
Well, and and to not have that guilt, like you're saying, like when the husband is saying, like, "Hey, go," this is good for us, it's good
Yeah.
for everybody, and so that probably gets rid of some of that guilt of like being pulled in all those directions because I've heard that a lot from people, even myself. It's like, okay, if I go do this for 30 minutes to an hour, like I have to really put that in relation to like I'm only asking for 30 minutes of an hour of my
Yeah.
own time to do this workout. But I feel guilty the whole time, right? Or others, that have told me that. And so that kind of permission, like
Mhm.
it's okay to take care of yourself, is
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Um,
Definitely.
Now, what do you when you see somebody with this transformation, right, where they are feeling better about themselves, and sometimes it's not about like, okay, you look dramatically different, you've lost all these inches, but they're feeling better. Like, what's that do for you as the trainer? Like, what's that? How's that refill
Oh,
your
it's
tank?
a light up. I mean, it actually gives me it gives me the okay that this is what I was supposed to do. I'm always like, God, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? And then something like that happens, and but I mean, I can see it in either somebody's smile, somebody's step, pulling their shoulders back versus coming in slouched all the time, and coming in, somebody coming from not socializing with people to, socializing with people. I mean, there's all sorts of little things besides seeing body transformations. I mean, body transformations is great. They can see that in the mirror, but a lot of times I just see people, it can be anywhere from their skin to, the muscle definition. I mean, I love when the girls get, muscle definition.
Hmm.
They don't, a lot of times they don't see it themselves. And I'll say, look in the mirror. Do you see this? And they're like, what? And I'm like, right there. I'm like, oh my gosh,
Uh-huh.
I do. I'm like, that's your hard work. That's why you've been coming here, And then they realize it. So a lot of times, us as trainers really have to show that because, maybe, they're wearing long sleeves all the time and maybe, their husband, or girlfriend doesn't compliment them or whatever. And then when it comes from me, I know a lot of, especially my younger millennial kids, I'll say something like, hey, I said, you're looking trimmer. I can see it in your
Uh-huh.
shirts. Your shirts are hanging better. They're like, really? They're like coming from you because they know
Uh-huh.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, you're
know,
gonna be honest.
yeah, I'm honest.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so sometimes probably too honest, and they don't want to hear everything I say. But yeah, they do. They're like, wow, coming from you, that made me feel good. And I mean, people need to be complimented, but I mean, not in exaggeration and not. I mean, it's got to be for real. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to compliment people if they deserve it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if the people who work for it, and I do that all the time, I'll go up just whisper in their ear, go around and just whisper in their ear, you're looking good because you're showing up every day. Good job. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, so, and then I also do it, in front of the group as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
So when someone is coming in and they're wanting to feel better about themselves, right? And you're trying to also help them understand how, and they're kind of maybe on the fence, right? They're like, do I want to do this? Do I not want to do this? What tips do you give them? What advice do you say? Like, this is why you want to do this. Like, this is why someone should engage in exercise. What's your pitch?
watch my pitch.
Yeah.
There's a few things. I mean, usually a lot of people will exercise for an occasion. It's usually
Uh-huh.
for a wedding. It's usually for, pre-baby before they get, pregnant. They want to make sure they're strong. Post-baby, and then I always say then recycle. It goes around. Then they get divorced, and now they have to get
Yeah.
back on the market.
Uh-huh.
So we have to trim up. So I've shredded them before the wedding, and then post-baby, and then if a divorce comes around, I do it. So it's like this cycle. I've seen many years doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But I just ask people, what are you looking for? Is there anything from an outfit that maybe you used to, I kind of make it personal to see what they'll come up with, because some people are like, well, I don't know, I just want overall good health. Well, we all want overall good health, okay, but it comes down to asking, why, what is it? Is it maybe this summer's coming up and you would love to get in those pair of shorts and maybe you've tried them on? Well, yeah, that too. And then once you ask that, then they're like, well, there is this dress I used to love wearing, and then I don't. I said, all right, so get that dress out, try it on right now, and put it on the back of the door. And to me, that everything's a visual, when it comes to fitness. So I said, put that red dress on that back door or in that closet where you're going to see it every day, and that reminds you, I want to get into that dress. That's why I need to go work out today. So what is it? Or is it, grandkids? Do you want to pick up your grandkids and you have no upper body strength? Do you want to run around with the grandkids, but you feel like you're out of breath? Do you feel, I mean, I work with seniors, and, I teach a chair class for seniors, but I make them do, a lot of things over their head, because sooner or later they stop, lifting their arms. I've heard it. I can't get my cup out of the top cupboard, so now I have to have everything on the counter. And I'm thinking, what's this kitchen look
Yeah,
like?
exactly.
It's all open counter space, and all of a sudden they can't. So then, instead of let's nip this in the bud now, and let's get these hands up above. Let's keep working up and down, so then we don't have this problem. So, and then then it goes into the mind as well. So, I just really try to pick and just try to ask more questions. It's not going to be 30 pounds in 30 days. That's unsafe anyway. 2 pounds a week is the safe way to go. And there's a lot of, diets out there. And, it's just back to exercise, eat clean, eat whole foods, get your sleep, drink your water, do mind meditation, do some type of just downtime. I always tell people, put their phones down or turn the TV down or, I think that's what we're missing is we're missing downtime. And I think kids are missing downtime. I think all these kids are so busy with school and then sports and then they get home and homework and then they go to sleep and then the next day. And so I think as I see them get older, then they're like, nobody wants to sit still anymore.
Yeah.
They want to be busy all the time because that's what they're used to. And I feel like, oh my gosh, you're going to be exhausted by the time you're in your 30s. You're going to be like, I don't want to work like my parents until they're 65. I'm exhausted because we used to have downtime. If I told my mother I was bored, oh, trust me.
Oh,
Oh,
don't
yeah.
say
You're
that.
bored?
Yeah.
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 So
I'll
you
find
wouldn't
you
say
something
were
to do.
bored.
Yeah.
I'll find you something to do. I'd be ironing my dad's underwear.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it was.
You got to get their crease in
So,
the right place,
yeah,
right?
So
Yeah.
it wasn't. You didn't say you were bored much. There was no phones, so you did. We would play. My sister and I would play like restaurant, and I'd be in the back, and I'd say, "What would you like?" Oh, grilled cheese, and I'd make her grilled cheese, and I mean, you
Uh-huh.
would just make up games and
Exactly.
and just
Creativity of the mind, right?
creativity of the mind.
Yeah.
And,
Or you're outside playing,
Yeah.
running,
Yeah.
jumping, playing. So, okay, for you, like when you get a really good workout in, right? It's an intense workout. Describe the feeling you get from that, from your mind, your body, your soul afterwards, right? Describe how good that feels. And I know by looking at you, I know what I'm talking about.
well, not everybody's competitive, and I
Uh-huh.
get that because it'd be crazy if it was like everybody was competitive. I am competitive, and so I know when I'm doing the workout, I'm always giving 110% in my workouts, and that's what I expect out of everybody else. I'm not up there just lollygagging around, expecting them to do harder. They follow me, okay? So I have to give my all to give them. Now, do I have to maybe yell a little bit, knee up,
keep 'em going,
things like
yeah.
that, keep them going. But when my knee goes down, their knee goes down, okay? So I have to heighten it every time. And when I get off of that, I always think it's, the exercise high, but I'm always like, oh my God, did you feel that? Did you feel that? And everybody's like, yeah, stop asking us, do we feel that? And so I become competitively repetitive because of that. But I just feel so good. And I'm just like, that was such a good time. I never think, gosh, I could have been doing so many other things than that. I mean, I have a life outside the gym, but never do I ever say this was a waste of time, or never in my head I'm going, here I am doing another class of the week with these people, and nobody's listening to me. I do say that. Is anybody listening to me? But I give my all, because when I give my all, I see them give their all. And then if I back off, I mean, like if I just start walking around, I can see them all, like, because they're not mimicking me.
Exactly.
And so it inspires me to, I mean, I can't do what I can do without them. I'm not one of those people that can go in the basement and work out.
Yeah, so it's pushing you as well.
People say I inspire them, but they inspire me. So it's a group effort. It's a group effort. But yeah, it's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah. So and I think that's what's so important for people. Like I said, when people come into counseling sometimes, and with me, when I've been counseling over the years, I'm always looking at exercise, sleep, and nutrition. Like, 3 free things you can do, for the most part. Yeah, sometimes eating healthy is more expensive, unfortunately. But however, it's like you can always exercise, right? So it's like trying to get people to understand what that can do for you in your mind. So, and yes, we know sometimes medication is necessary for certain mental illness. We know that. But at times, with that down feeling or a case of the winter blues and things of that nature, what exercise can do for us is perk us up, and give us that, that endorphin rush, or even that ability to think differently, right? And it's like, I think that's trying to help people understand that. And I think how you've described it too is to make exercise almost fun, for the person, right? And so trying to instill that, I think, is so important. With the mental health component, right? What kind of things have you seen over the years? Like you said, for a while you've been doing this, but what are some of the benefits that you've seen from a mental health standpoint?
Well, elevate moods. I mean, I can see people come in and they have an attitude. I've had somebody come in and they're like, "All right, well, I'm going to join. I don't like exercise. I'm just going to
Uh-huh.
tell you right now. My cholesterol's high. My doctor says I got to exercise. So sign me up." I'm like, "Oh, okay."
Oh, yeah.
So,
You're gonna be
right
fun
away
one.
I think, "Woo, we got a little wall here.
Uh-huh.
Got to break down the wall." It actually doesn't discourage me. It creates more of a, "I'm going to make this girl an exercise lover."
Uh-huh.
I said, "Well, you know what? You're in a good place. This is a place you're going to turn like." "Well, I don't know. I've never liked exercise. Actually, I think I'm allergic to it." And the excuses just come rolling out, right?
Uh-huh.
So I'm like, "Well," I said, "give it some time." I said, "But the exercise, people always ask, what exercise should I do?" One that you're going to do, first of all. I mean, if somebody says, "I hate the treadmill," then don't buy a treadmill. Okay? Because, right, your mindset
Yeah,
is,
you're not
"I
gonna
hate the
do it."
treadmill." So, yeah, don't do it. So you've got to find, I always tell people, like, what's a good class? I said, they're all good classes. I said, but you've got to find the time slot that works for you. If you in the morning you want to get it over with and you don't work, days, evenings, weekends, I mean, you've got to make it work. But the exercise you have to do, I mean, I bump into people all the time, and I've been doing this for so long, so I've seen some members of mine from 20, 25 years ago. They bump into me at the grocery store and they're like, "I can see you're still doing it," or "I follow you on Facebook and you're still doing it." And I got out of it. I said, "Well, why?" "Well, because I, left where you were, and so now I'm somewhere else, and I just don't like it, and it's crowded, it's busy, it's not personal, whatever." And so that they're not going to do it. So you've got to find something that you like and something you're going to do consistently. And everybody knows that you have to get into the habit. You just can't in a week think that's going to be a habit. My gals that have been with me for years, I have girls that are there 5, 6, 7 days a week. And they make time. But they know how good it is for their health, mental, physical. And then some people are like, "Well, we all have 24 hours in a day." So I tell people, break it up, and I mean, I go to corporations and talk about this. Tomorrow I'm doing a desk exercise, lunch and learn, how to just exercise, at your desk, and I give them exercises that they're like, "I never thought of that." I said, and then I give them, a sheet that gives them, I said, "Hang it up, look at it." When I go to schools and I talk to the kids, I said, anytime you're studying for hours, I mean, my head would be down at the book. What I tell them now is, you need that mind break. Get those brain juices going. Get up, do some jumping jacks. Go up, walk around the house. Get up, do some push-ups, do some sit-ups. Just get something, and then come back and focus. I do corporate fitness at lunch for corporations. And I just say, this 45 minutes away from your desk, yes, you're going to go back to emails, and yes, you're going to go back to your boss, and yes, there's going to be voicemails, but this time is for you. And so we just escape it. We laugh. We put fun music on. I think that's huge. Music that you can dance and sing to and have memories of. I love the music, with my seniors, I'll play the older music, and like, oh man. And so I love music, the music therapy part of it. And that really helps them just remember. And they're like, "I can't believe that I can remember this whole song from the 50s, and I can't remember what I ate for breakfast an hour ago,"
Yeah.
And so that's just where the music therapy comes in. And that's part of the exercise too, is, give them fun music where they just kind of lose it. I mean, music has always been key for me. And I've always been, not patting myself on the back, but I've always given fresh music. I spend hundreds of dollars on music a year to constantly keep it fresh. And everybody always says, "You have the best music ever." And I mean, I had a 70-year-old lady. She moved. She's going to another gym now, and she'll message me, or she'll come to my place every once in a while, and she'll go, "They can't even change the damn CD. It's the same thing over and over again. I'm so tired of that same music." She goes, "At least here, we're always keeping it fresh." And so you have to keep it fresh. You have to keep it challenging, not only for the body, but for the mind. So again, and that's where the mind comes in. If you're going somewhere, if somebody says, I always say, "How's your workout going?" I mean, I'm saying everybody has to work out with me. Of course, I'd love that. But, if I say, "How's your workout going?" "Oh, I'm, they're far away from me. They have to be somewhere else." I said, "How's it going?" They're like, I go, "You ever sore?" "Oh, I haven't been sore in months." I said, "Okay, you're doing it wrong."
yeah,
I said, "Your body is getting used to it, so your mind's getting used to it. We do A to this, and we do A to this. Same thing. Your body gets used to it, your muscles get used to it, your mind gets used to it. So when your mind gets used to it, you're just like, your body's like, why go? I can do this at home. A to this and A to this." So I love the freshness, and the variety has got to keep, and it's good for the mind, and it's good constantly, left brain, right brain. We do, instability work, the left side, right. Like, so, I feel like it mixes where people can lose themselves. I always want people, I was in the corporate world for many years, and that's why I loved having this as a side gig. I would just leave the work, the bad boss, whatever, the bad coworker, whatever you had, you left it at work, and then when you came worked out, that was your time, and you got into it, you got into the music, the moves, and then you forgot. You went home, thank God you went home probably from work to workout to home, because a lot of times people, obviously, and I did the same. I was guilty. I would bring that work home, and, he would say, you've told me the story 5 times. Well, I'm going to say it the 6th time.
I got to get
that's
this
how mad
out.
I am,
Yeah.
So that's a mind. That's a mind where you just now, you get that toxic, you bring it home, and now the whole family's toxic because that's what you're hearing. So it's nice that you just let it out on the gym floor.
Yep.
Release it, and then you're like, oh, how was your day? Yeah,
I'm done with it already.
I'm done because you already had that kind of interim after work.
So really, and to keep people, like you're saying, because, like a lot of times the lull of a workout, right? But then if you're keeping it creative, you're keeping it even with different music.
Yeah, there's no lull.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I mean, that's a key for people. Because I think a lot of times and same thing with diets too, like diets fail how many times, but workout routines as well. So if you can keep that creativity is a big part of that.
And that helps the mind, keeping creative.
Now, nutrition and exercise, right?
Oh my
50-50?
gosh, no.
No. What?
80-20.
80-20.
What do you think 80 is?
Nutrition.
Very good.
Yeah.
Good answer.
Yeah.
So
Beth told me earlier. Yeah.
80% nutrition and 20% exercise. You need both for 100%, obviously. But, I've had people, and actually I just met a guy right now. He's lost since last June 55 pounds on his own, cleaning up his diet and no exercise. So to me, that blows my mind.
Wow.
Because I'm so much in exercise. But when somebody would say to me, if they'd say, I can't do both. I want to eat good, and as you say, French fries are $1 and a fruit cup is $3.50. So the world doesn't make it easy, obviously, to eat well. Okay, so that's why everybody's eating the cheap stuff. Okay, but in the long run, we know the expense up front is going to save the expense at the end. Okay, whether
Good
it's
way of
mind
looking
or
at it.
body, I mean, it is. So invest in yourself now, prevent now. Versus treat later. That's really one of my big things. So I tell people, if you had to choose, as much as I want you to do both, 80% is nutrition. I would have for you to go with nutrition, and then I'd give you exercise to do at home. But I would love for you to do both. But if I had to tell people, and I see it all the time, so many people, that I've eaten, I've come out of bad eating on my own or whatever they count points or carbs or whatever they're doing. There's a lot out there that's unsafe, too, which is scary because they're doing things that they want it now. Everybody in America wants fast, quick now.
Yeah.
So people say to me, I want to look like you. I said, okay, this is 38 years of maintenance. Okay. This isn't a get quick fix, it takes time, but then you have to do maintenance. Does it suck? Yeah. I would love to say, did 38 years, now I don't have to exercise for the next
done.
38. I'm
Yeah.
done. Eat a piece of broccoli, I'm healthy, I'm done. Unfortunately, that's just not how our body works. So, but I always tell people, I can exercise people, and I've seen it over the years, and I approach, a lot of them, and I'll say, okay, wait a minute, Sally, you're working out 7 days a week, and I'm not seeing any difference.
What are you eating at home?
And so, and I don't do this on the first week. I see it months go on, and I'm like, not only is it frustrating for me as her trainer, I'm thinking, okay, I know I'm giving her a great workout because everybody else, but why isn't Sally getting results? So then I have to say, Sally, because to me, if you have, whether it's a man or a woman, working out, and they feel like they're leaving their family, they're leaving their kids every night to come work out, and they're not seeing a difference, well, why are they going to stay at the gym? First of all, they're like, this isn't doing nothing for me, because I'm not seeing. So a lot of people want to see physical because that's what they can see in the mirror. They can't see until I say, man, you're in a good mood. I am, aren't I? They don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where that mental well-being, a lot of people don't know that the exercise is helping them because my arms still look like that in the mirror. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
well, but how's your sleep? Well, actually, my sleep's better. How's your mental alertness? No, actually, yeah, actually, I wake up and I'm bouncing up more. Okay, so we're seeing results, but everybody's so fixated on the mirror or on that scale that they really need to do so much. So I know when I talk to young kids, they look at me like, what is she going to tell us? And I go, I know what I'm telling you, girls. I know you're all a little size 0 right now, and you probably eat all the donuts you want. I said, but you got to think in long term. Coming from me, I did that, and it didn't work. Okay,
Uh-huh.
so I had to learn the hard way. So and parents really have to do it, because if they're not doing it, their kids aren't going to do it. And if their kids aren't going to do it, when they have kids, they're not going to do it. And
Yeah.
so this is a sick society.
Yeah.
And if we don't keep going, I have to do. I work with the Girl Scouts, and I'm talking to the kids, but the third graders aren't buying the food at the house.
Yep.
The parents
Exactly.
are. So I'm like, parents, can you listen here? Because I'm getting ready to tell your kids not to eat the sugary cereal that you're feeding them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But you're going to keep supplying it in the house. Yeah.
So and I've
Yeah.
asked, what does everybody eat for breakfast? And I never forget, one kid goes, sugary cereal. And I'm like, is that a new brand? I go, and they're like, and I thought, that's sad. I mean, they should be saying whatever, fruit,
Yeah.
whatever name it is. But she said, I eat a sugary cereal every day. And I'm like, wow, how does that word even come up?
Exactly.
Yeah. I thought, I don't
Yeah.
know, maybe it's that bottom brand at the bottom. of the
Yeah,
store
that's
that
sugary.
store
Yeah,
is
in the
sugary
bag.
cereal.
Yeah, it's
But
what it is, though. Yeah.
I mean, but that's what they say.
Wow. And so you do a lot of work with kids. 'Cause I think you've been in some Rockwood School District
Yeah, I
schools
teach
too.
PE once
Yeah.
a month, and then I do, all sorts of stuff with them. I'm the fitness role model of the Girl Scouts, so I work with troops all the time. And it's kind of funny because I don't have kids,
Mm-hmm.
and I think now that's what I was meant to do. They're like, okay, you didn't have kids, now here's hundreds of them.
Yeah. Here's
Here, work with them.
Fix
and so
them.
I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
So and I work pretty well with kids, but I'm pretty strict and
Mm-hmm.
consistent, and people know that. Like it's gonna. I
You know
don't-
what to
I-
expect
yeah,
with
they
you.
know what to expect, and
Mhm.
so to me, when I teach a class, and you're not doing it in the back row, I call the kids out. Now, they're embarrassed that I called you out, but the next time I'll call them out again, and all of a sudden they sharpen up. They like, she's gonna call me out, so I better do it. And so I trust me, I've made exercise haters
Uh-huh.
into, what are we gonna do next week when you come back, or what do you? And so I love that, because to me that's my challenge. You always have your athletes and your people who love exercise,
It comes
and that's
natural.
great. It
Yeah.
comes natural to them, people, and those are great to work with. But to me, the people that just had that stigma of maybe, well, my parents always hated, got to go to the gym, kids, see you later, and whatever. So those are those are kind of the people that I like to work with. The girl that came in and said, I hate exercise. As soon as my cholesterol's down, I'm quitting.
Yeah. That'll work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's really not how we work,
Mhm.
So, and now, she's coming all the time to classes, and it's just funny because, it's a mindset, it's a mind game. I've run marathons before, and I'm not kidding you. Every street and avenue, you just want to turn down and jump in a cab and have him take you to the finish line. But you can't. You have
It's that mental
yeah,
toughness.
Yeah, you have to. Yeah, I mean, it's tough, but I think a support group. So I know what you're doing, counseling wise, and these podcasts, and people. I mean, people can't do it on their own. They just can't. I mean, people want to be superheroes and type AA personalities, and sometimes I feel like you have to step back and just, nobody likes to fail, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to fail, but sometimes, and I heard somebody say this, that sometimes I just need to step back, and sometimes the kids are showing me something. And I'm like, even though that's not it, I'm just gonna step back, and they show me stuff that just cracks me up, and I'm like, we can do that. They're like, let's do this, and I'm like, well, it's really not what I had on the agenda today, but actually that's not bad, and I just kind of step back out of my role, and
You let them have a
lead the
little
class.
ownership. They get excited.
Yeah, they get excited. So it's it's fun that way.
So let me ask you this, switching gears a little bit. You're a business owner, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be kind of stressful. You know, it's
Yes.
always a little stressful owning a business. How do you take care of yourself besides exercise? Or is it solely exercise is the only way you
Well,
take care of
I
yourself?
mean, I do love exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody says, "What's your hobby?" And I'm like, "Exercise?" They're like, really? You know,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not a reader, and I'm trying to do more. Listening to podcasts, audiobooks, downtime with that. I love to bake and cook some things, and actually, I just started trying to just do some me time. I mean, I do chiropractic, self-care on my body because my body is my life.
Mm-hmm.
And so, if somebody says you want to go hiking, I'm like, oh, that's way too much exercise, and
Yeah.
they get a laugh out of that. I said, but really, why I don't want to do it is, if I crack my ankle or
Yeah.
break a leg, I'm teaching 25
Yeah.
something classes a week. Who's
Yeah, it's
going to
your
do that if
livelihood.
yeah?
Yeah.
So I play safe, but I do
Mm-hmm.
try to do self care and do massage therapist once a month. Do the girl things, the manicure, pedicure, the
Mm-hmm.
facials once a month, and that's always been, hair, nail, skin, just me time where
Mm-hmm.
I can just veg out, and even
Mm-hmm.
if I go and take somebody else's class, it's just nice sometimes for me not to be up in the front and be the leader. Sometimes I just need to step back and just be the
Mm-hmm.
follower. I love being
Mm-hmm.
a leader. That's how my parents raised me. But sometimes I just need to step back.
Mm-hmm.
And one time I did step back, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to stop teaching exercise for a little bit. I changed, I moved, and I thought, I'm just going to be in the back row and just do my
Mm-hmm.
own thing. Well, it was terrible. It didn't
Yeah.
last long because I was in the back row telling everybody in the back row, because usually people in the back row don't want to be recognized and
Uh-huh.
noticed, and usually you can't see them in the back row. So I was in the back row telling everybody, and it wasn't even my class. The girl was up in the front, and I'm in the back row going, "Why don't you do this? This is safer. Do
Yeah.
you have a neck problem? Okay, don't do that." And next thing you know, I had a whole class going on in the
You
back
had the
row,
back row
and the gal's
teaching.
like, "What's going on back there?" I'm like, "Got him covered.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Keep doing what you're doing." So I had the whole back row, and then I thought to myself, we just can't be a member. We have to
Uh-huh.
be a teacher. So,
Yeah.
so I do a lot of teaching, up front, whether people are listening or not. But lucky exercise is more of a visual,
Uh-huh.
and so I always do good with the visuals.
Awesome. Well, we have been here with Lisa Hale from Z Total Body Fitness. So if they are curious about the gym, right, how are they going to get some information? What's your website?
ztotalbody.net.
And
And yeah, on Facebook, it's Z Total Body Fitness St. Louis. We always have great videos of just showing everybody of all ages, sizes, fitness levels, having fun. We were karaokeing the other day to a Journey song while we were
oh,
exercising.
really?
I encourage
Uh-huh.
craziness and fun, and that's if I don't look like I'm having fun, they're not gonna have fun.
Yeah.
So of course, you have to set precedents, right? So I'm like, let's sing, and next thing you know, everybody was singing and laughing, and it was hilarious, and I got it on video, so everybody's
Uh-huh.
always like that. Look at the Facebook or even my website. The Facebook feeds into that on the right side. They're always like, when they come in, I go, well, how did you hear about us? They're like, oh my God, I've been watching your videos. I thought I'd finally come. It looks like so much fun.
Boom.
And it's really tough. And I always
Mm-hmm.
say ZTB, which is Z Total Body, ZTB, where fitness meets fun. And, that's really, I mean, I've always had fun doing this. It's always been my niche.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's not for everybody, but, somebody just is like, I didn't want to come after work today, but I forced myself. We have a lot of 30-minute classes to
Mm-hmm.
get people to come in and just do the short term if they have to head out. But then some people stay for an hour or 2 hours. But they're just like, I didn't want to come today, and you made me smile and laugh, and the music, and I got to see so and so, and I haven't seen her in a while, and oh my God, I mean, just
Yeah.
that 30 minutes just changed their attitude, their mood, their anxiety. I mean, just the whole the whole
Yeah.
package
The whole
was
package.
changed just in 30 minutes. So sometimes I always say you just have to get out of your skin, get out of your head, and move somewhere else. And I think exercise is just a great component to always focus on the instructor and what you're doing instead of, because if you're going to be so busy trying to follow her and do it, you're not going to be really thinking about
Mm-hmm.
what the rest of the day was. So I always feel like people can get out of their mind space and then put it in a good space and then leave in a better space.
And which totally improves the overall well-being of a person.
Right.
So Awesome. Well, man, I'm hooked.
You
So
gonna join?
well, we'll see if I can keep up. But yeah, I mean, check her out. She gave you the website and the Facebook page, and it's truly about making overall better individuals. And we have to remember that, physical health, mental health, they're connected, right?
Yeah, immensely.
So,
Yeah.
all right, Lisa, it was a pleasure meeting you and having
Thank
you
you.
on today.
Thank you.
And we will see you again.
All right, awesome.
All right. Until next time, this is Mental Health Matters. Tom Duff. Check us out at stlouiscounseling.org.
This has been Mental Health Matters with Tom Duff of St. Louis Counseling Services. Check out stlouiscounseling.org for more information.